One thing I have never thought about doing is attending Oktoberfest. Having to deal with an angry horde of drunk people while also being outside in unpredictable weather just isn't my cup of tea. So, when I saw this game on the internet, I knew I had to have it. Finally, I can enjoy some culture while not actually having to deal with the culture. Fantastic. Oktoberfest, the official game, was released only in Europe in 2009 by Independent Arts and published by 7-1 Intermedia. I don't know if this ever got, an official store release, or if it was only released in major cities hosting Oktoberfest or something. There's no information on how this was distributed. All I know is that my copy came from France, and is currently the only European case I own, and it makes my collection look a little off. Which is fine. Looking at their website, Independent Arts has actually made a lot of games, and they all look about as good as I would expect from a company called Independent Arts. Maybe I'm just being judgmental. I'm sure they're great, like Die Bien Maja? Or, as known in North America, the B-Game. No, you know what, never mind, let's just leave those alone. Of lesser note, there are also a couple of other Oktoberfest games for some reason. A phone app created by Sierra Nevada to promote their beer, a card-based board game based around trying to own all 6 available beer types in-game that hasn't even been released yet, and a card-building game expansion called Tanto Kure Oktoberfest, which is centered around being served by maids and building up the best collection of them to become the perfect master. Oh, okay. Moving on, this game also comes with a spider warning, and since I'm not too familiar with Europe's content rating system, I had to look it up. Spider equals fear, apparently. Which, to be honest, makes a lot of sense. After writing out our name and choosing our character, we're brought to the Weissen map, which I assume is what the festival area in the actual Oktoberfest is called. I don't know, I'm not about to be doing my research here. We're left to our own devices after being given a brief description of our goal. Play the assorted minigames on the map to gain enough transformation points to turn into a true Bavarian. Now, I'm not entirely sure what entitles me to being a true Bavarian, but I'm pretty sure it isn't beating a bunch of games at a festival known for its heavy drinking. Speaking of drinking, we also have our energy meter that's in the shape of a beer glass that we can replenish at any of the 3 food stalls, which is just the stupidest mechanic I've ever come across in a game that's dedicated to mini-games. If you let the energy bar drop to 0, you get a transformation point taken away from you, forcing you to play through one of the minigames all over again. And, as I'm about to explain, is just the worst thing that could happen to you in this game. The map has 7 minigames to choose from. Graduation, beer, space, hammer, pie, spooky skull pirate, and crown. Normally I would just go in order, but I was never one for school, so we'll skip the graduation cap for now. Let's start with the precariously placed beer first. In this minigame, we're waiting tables, which, considering the title of tourist that they gave me, is a little out of place. Shouldn't I be the one demanding more ale and running into the waitress? The more customers you serve, the more angry drunkards start walking around running into you, making you spill beer. The floors are also made out of ice, apparently, because I slide around everywhere, and even the slightest nudge from behind or the side of a table can make me wipe out as well. Sorry, excuse me, just could you not, please? After a lot of frustration and horrible flashbacks to nightmare retail customers, I beat all 3 levels so we can move on to the next. Future Town over here is actually a rhythm game that demands you to be so precise, I have no idea how anyone is supposed to find this fun. Through sheer determination, I was able to complete all 3 difficulties, and despite how surprisingly good the songs were, I couldn't get into them because I was more focused on the tiny blue dot lining up with the thin bar. If you haven't realized it yet, this game is hard! That's why it sucks when you lose a transformation point, and the food stands aren't always available, as I so horribly learned. To refill the food stalls, you have to either lose your point or beat the game you are having issues with to begin with. It's just so flawed. If the goal was to make me drink my feelings of inadequacy away, then mission accomplished. The next game, Spooky Pirate Ghost Ride, we're supposed to dash the ghosts to keep them from scaring us and circle the food to rack up points. But disregarding that sometimes it didn't even register, and others it would register despite not being anywhere near the ghost, it was just difficult. This one is probably the hardest for me because of how unfair everything is. I mean, honestly, just look at this. Too many ghosts spawn, no time to really react to anything, and the food flies away too quickly. It took me forever to beat the highest difficulty on this one, and only by 5 points. At the end of it, the ghost dumb little noises didn't scare me. They made me want to snap my DS in half. The crown, or I guess finger-pulling minigame, I was supposed to draw different symbols corresponding to the number to keep the opponent's hand over on my side, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do it. It didn't seem to matter how fast or accurate I was, I kept losing. After about an hour of trying, I beat it by fluke. Looking back at the footage, I still don't know what I did differently that gave me the last seconds I needed to win. The hammer minigame is just a lost cause. Rub the right side of the screen, then when the left bar is full, tap the continuously moving circle when it reaches the center target to swing the hammer. I tried so hard to time it, but I just couldn't. Even the closest I got still gave me a fairly measly score. The pie building, or the folk dance, was just Simon Says with rhythmic timing, but it gets so convoluted so quickly that I couldn't keep up. Eventually, I went back to my footage from earlier and just recorded where I should click. It's not cheating if the game doesn't know I did it. Finally, college. This quiz is 100% pointless. First, there are way too many questions, and none of the answers are hidden away in the game for you to just find, so it's just a matter of guessing. And before you say, oh, why didn't you just Google it? I tried! None of the questions are that easily searched, and there's no walkthrough for this game because why would anyone play this? It suggests that you remember the answers if you get it wrong, but I ran through the quiz 6 times before getting a repeat question. A long time later, and I mean a long time, I managed to score 10 out of 10, and was rewarded with nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even a transformation point. I feel cheated. After way too long playing this game and getting needlessly frustrated at every single last minigame because of how hard they were, I finally managed to rack up enough transformation points to become a true Bavarian. Oh man, I really hope this is worth it. Congratulations, you're a true Bavarian and can now carry your Weissen diploma with pride. I can't get too mad at the game. Sure, they told me I was going to transform into a Bavarian, and instead they gave me a flimsy piece of paper, but they gave me a pretty sweet title instead. I didn't transform into a true Bavarian. Oh no, I transformed into a god. And, as my first act as the new god of Oktoberfest, I hereby declare that this game be succumb to getting pushed around by angry drunks for all eternity. Who thought this game was a good idea? Who took a look at this frickin' festival and thought, hey, you know what would be awesome? If we turn this into a really difficult minigame collection. And even then, other people had to look at this weirdo and go, hey, that's a really great idea, let's make it! I really don't know what I expected when I bought this game. Just not this. Oktoberfest, the official game. Guaranteed to make you drink. Yeah, I'm still not going to be Oktoberfesting it up anytime soon. Special thanks to my not a sponsor, Grey Goose, for being the only alcohol in the house when I recorded this. And if you want to see more, I only have like one other video you could go watch. So you could go watch it, I guess. Or you could subscribe to me and maybe I'll put out another one. Who knows? The world is full of surprises.